you know when influencers are lying, right?
And as a content creator who has an audience, you have a responsibility to the people you're speaking to and influencing.
Burnout, but I don't want to give up. And I'm kind of at the point in content creation now where it's like you're at the home stretch.
This is probably going to trigger a lot of people, but I'm going to say anyway. Influencer culture is low-key becoming the downfall of the beauty industry.
Honest truth, the dark side about being an influencer. No, I'm not an influencer. I just wanted you to keep listening. I'll tell you the dark side about going viral, which for some reason is not nearly as ear-catching, eye-catching, as pretending I'm an influencer. What I didn't expect was that everything turned out to be revolving around money. Should it have occurred to me? Yes. But as someone who doesn't think about money like that, it was shocking. I grew up poor. Money is sort of like this unobtainable, weird concept in my head, even though now I have plenty of it. I'm not struggling anymore. But the moment you have a lot of eyes on you, you are seen as a perfect advertisement. And my accounts turned into that against my fucking will. My account was turned into a creator account without me having anything to do with it. I wasn't asked. I never would have agreed to that. I don't even fucking use TikTok, except for to post random shit every now and then. And now I post every single day, #influencer, haha. Anyways, all of my account turned into a creator account. TikTok started paying me. Yes, I had to opt in, but at that point, I already had the fucking, why not? Why not? They were already asking me to do trends, to start trends, and to pay me to do it. I had no fucking clue that was a thing. Apparently, all of these dancing videos, these dancing trends, curated by TikTok. It's all fake. It's not actually a natural trend that happens. It's not someone making up a dance and then boom, there you go. Maybe there's some that are, but I get messages, you're invited. And they tell me what audio to use, what to say, how to dance, what the video should look like, how long it should last. They have parameters, and if I meet them, I get paid a certain amount to do it, to participate. Have I ever done it? I tried once. Did it work? No, I didn't get enough views because I'm not an influencer. And then I said, you know what? I'm not doing that again. It was funny. I made it match my vibe, but I can't make Merry Little Christmas match my vibe unless I shit my pants in front of my Christmas tree. And I'm not about to shit my pants on purpose. I'll do it on accident and I'll tell you guys, but I'm not doing it on purpose. Anyways, I digress. I'm getting sidetracked. Everything's fucking fake. It's all about money and nothing is real. And quite frankly, I'm so glad I am not an influencer because I want nothing to do with that.
I'm gonna start being real on here in 2026, and when I tell y'all, being a content creator is not at all like I thought it was gonna be in the beginning, and I mean that in a negative way, derogatory way, of course. Like, I love everything that I've been able to be blessed with because of having a platform, but when I tell you, it's the unhealthiest thing ever. Like, you think you want to be a creator and you think you'd be so happy, and the money is fantastic in one thing, but you'll have the money and also be struggling mentally. And I can't say that some days I don't think about going back to the days when I was working $13 an hour. Yes, I did get denied a 1-bedroom apartment because I didn't make it 3 times the rent, but day to day I was a lot less stressed. My depression wasn't as bad. I was on a lower dose of all my medications. Actually, I wasn't even on any at that time. My gym routine was intact. I had lost 40 pounds when I was able to focus on myself. I had free time to go to the gym. But then when I started getting into content creation, I started thinking of every little thing in my life that I could perform, and every single thing in my life that I could monetize and create content about to therefore monetize my life. And I definitely went an unhealthy route, which most creators do. Like, there's no guidebook on how to do this, and I monetized every single aspect of my life: thrifting, going to the store, shopping, getting groceries, trying new foods. Every single part of my life I look at with a dollar sign above that activity of how much money I think it's going to make me to do it. And it became not about the passion for a while. I'm slowly getting out of that mindset right now, and it's been really amazing, but it's taken me so long, and there's no guidebook on how to do this, and there's nobody that's going to tell you, hey, you're going to get into these unhealthy mental patterns, especially because you have millions probably of eyes on you once you start to take off at once, and that is not normal for a healthy human being. So you start acting like an unhealthy human being in response to that. So you need to do X, Y, and Z to make sure you're keeping yourself grounded. Go to therapy instantly day one, do this, that, and the third. I didn't have anybody like that. So I kind of want to make more videos talking about that, because I just kind of realized, like, I've been through so much mentally, literally the trenches, literally the, like, wanting to, lately, it's been bad, girl. So I want to start making videos about it. So maybe there's other aspired creators or content creators out there that will resonate with what I'm saying and how bad it can be mentally for you despite how amazing the benefits of it are. So I want to talk about that more. And I'm just going to keep complaining. Maybe the key is complaining.
This video is probably going to get me in a lot of trouble, and I don't really care because I think the most important thing to me is being truthful, telling the truth, and having integrity, especially in the space of influencing people to spend their hard-earned money on products. And as a content creator who has an audience, you have a responsibility to the people you're speaking to and influencing. And I have a responsibility to my audience. And something happened today that I had no idea was happening, and it really shocked me. I think this is something that is supposed to be kept hush hush, right? We're not supposed to talk about it. We're not supposed to tell anybody. But if I put myself in the shoes of the audience that watches our videos, that buys perfume based on our recommendations, I would not want to be lied to. I would not want to be deceived in the name of getting a paycheck and making money. And I had never had confirmation of this previous to today. I posted a video of my review on Vanilla Aura. I shared my 100% honest thoughts, as I always do. This is what I value most as a content creator, is being honest and bringing you products and fragrances that I really truly love and think that you will love. The people that follow me because we probably have very similar taste in perfume. So you're looking to me and my nose and my privilege as a creator who gets sent a lot of perfumes to be able to review these perfumes and bring it back to you for you to make a decision. So I was very honest in my review. Nothing new there. I did not like Vanilla Aura. I did not think it was a one-to-one dupe of Vanille Planifolia. I didn't think it was a good vanilla perfume on its own outside of being a dupe of a perfume. I gave it a full wear test. I let it dry down. I wore it all night into the next morning, and I spoke about how great the longevity was in my video because I have no reason to just trash a perfume at all. I get no benefit from telling you that I don't like this perfume and it's awful. There's no ulterior motive. I'm just giving you my 100% honest review of a perfume. There's nothing more to it. And today I received an offer, and I'm not going to say from who. I'm not going to say any names, any brands, anything like that. It's really irrelevant to the message that I'm trying to spread. But I received an offer for a lot of money to come back on TikTok and make a video straight up lying. The video was supposed to be me saying that I let the perfume dry down and the dry down is actually great and I changed my opinion and I actually love this perfume. I was shocked. I didn't realize this was happening. I didn't realize people were being paid to lie. And if this was offered to me, I can only imagine how often this is happening. And I'm very taken back, shocked, sickened, kind of devastated because I have always defended creators who come on here and review perfumes. If another creator posted a review loving Vanilla Aura, I'm not going to call them a liar. I don't understand their opinion, but I don't think they're lying. I think that they just have a different opinion, a different nose, a different experience with the perfume than I do. And that's okay. That's why you follow creators that have a similar nose to you, so you can get reviews that you love. I always stick up for creators when I see people calling them liars or being paid behind the scenes, because this has never been offered to me and never happened to me before. And now that I know that this is something that's actually happening, I need you to know what's going on behind the scenes. I do not think it's fair at all, under any circumstances, to be paid to post an opinion that's not true, that's not your real opinion, especially in the times that we're living in right now, especially in this economy when people are struggling to pay their bills, put food on the table, provide for their families, and maybe the one thing that they love and the one thing that brings them joy is perfume, and they can finally afford a $35 fragrance, and they're influenced to spend their hard-earned money on a false review that was paid for. I'm horrified that this is happening, okay? And I think it's my responsibility to make everyone aware that this is happening, to make everyone aware that if you watch perfume talk videos and you make decisions about spending your money on perfume based on those videos, please use your discernment. Be very intentional about the creators you're following and the content you're watching. And I am not calling out anybody in particular. I have no idea who this is happening to, how often this is happening. I just know it happened to me, so it must be happening more frequently. And I know for a fact this is going to cause a lot of issues for me. I'm gonna have to have some very hard conversations after posting this video, and I don't care, okay? Because the thing that is most important to me is the audience I've built and being truthful, intentional, and integral about what I post online. And to be very transparent and honest with you, I do not care about burning bridges with any company or any brand that's operating in this way. The only brands that I want to work with are brands that share the same morals as me.
They're self-centered enough to not think through the consequences and be perfectly fine filming and sharing terrorist propaganda.
All day in Afghanistan, we're in Kabul. I absolutely love this city. We went to a coffee shop to have an iced mocha. Coffee shops were actually banned by the Taliban, but we managed to find one, except I was told that a lot has to do now with the financial situation in Afghanistan and the poverty, and that people can't afford coffee rather than the Taliban's rules.
You're a useful idiot filming propaganda for them. This girl talks about, oh, like coffee shops are forbidden, mostly because people or poor and can't afford them, which is absurd, right? They can afford coffee. Clearly, the Taliban brought her into that location and it was a staged coffee shop.
I'm aware that what I'm about to say is completely ridiculous and I'm really not trying to be ungrateful, but this is everything that just came this week. All of this stuff is amazing, obviously, to have and to get, and so grateful for all of the gifting and the brands that I get to work with, but it's a lot. I guess my hope for this video is that it lands on the FYP of other content creators and influencers, because I need some advice, guidance, help of how to not let all of this overwhelm you. I recently posted a video of how I organize everything and put everything away, and that was like last week, and there was so much stuff, and now this is this week and there's more stuff and I'm running out of space. There's quite literally bins and bins of stuff. That whole thing is filled and I'm just like, it's a mess. Is there a better way for me to do this? Is there like a different method? I literally do giveaways every single week to my followers, my friends. Anytime someone comes over, I'm like, please go up into my office and just take whatever you want. But this is 1 week of stuff, and it piles up in my kitchen, and then I carry everything upstairs and it piles up here. It's overwhelming. And I think what's most overwhelming about all of it is that it's sitting in your face knowing that you have to take a picture of it. You can't open a box yet because you need to do an unboxing video. So everything just kind of like sits in the boxes so that when I pile everything up, have them all stacked behind me and then unbox all of them. So I'm like saving the packages, if that makes sense. Even if I wasn't doing that, like, it's very much overconsumption, overstimulation. It's gonna expire eventually if I don't use it right away. And I have my products that I love and use all the time. Like, I keep them all in my bathroom, like all of my makeup, like my skincare, whatever, like it's all here. And there's only so much stuff that I can do, like use. One of my good friends, Rachel, actually posted a TikTok about this the other day because she was like, I'm constantly scrolling and saying like, I should do this, I should do this. Like, you're seeing inspiration other influencers are doing, other content creators, and oh, I like that idea, I should do that, or why didn't I think of that, or that's a great idea to do next. So I'm constantly being surrounded by and looking at things that I have to do and add to my plate. And then on top of that, it's like a physical manifestation of stress, essentially. If anyone has any suggestions, like maybe do I just like open it and put it away right when it comes and just forget about the unboxing? It is my job and it is a privilege to be able to try all of these new products and like continue, I guess, be introduced to like what the brands are doing next. But maybe that's the root of the problem. Like, all of these brands are trying to keep up with each other so they continue to launch the next hair serum, the next mascara, the next lip oil, the next lip stain, the face masks. Like, they are also just pushing. Then in turn, the influencers have to push and push and push and push. And then how much is the consumer that's not an influencer, that's just a normal person, really even buying constantly all the time? I don't know. I'm really not trying to sound like a brat. I'm just overwhelmed. Love you, bye.
What's the darkest thing you've seen at an influencer party?
So there's this house in Beverly Hills that I went to, and there was just like, there are these things that I didn't even know what they were at the time. They're called like whippets. And they're like all over the floor. And there's this one man, he was like a 40-year-old man, and he had like all these 18-year-old girls around him. And I remember just like looking at him. He was like on drugs. He had everything you could possibly want. He was rich. He had all these girls, but he was just empty inside. He had a house in the hills, and I remember leaving that party thinking like, that's not what life's about. Like, these people actually aren't happy. And I felt like there was like a large presence of the devil inside of LA when I was there for that short period of time. And I remember going to these parties, see like the people you'd see on your For You page on TikTok and Instagram and everything like that. And you just kind of saw that they were actually very empty inside. They would go get drunk at these parties thinking they'd be fulfilled and they're making all this money, but they'd go get drunk and do these drugs, and there'd be 40-year-old men with all these younger girls who are trying to get a few dollars or get followers. And I thought that was very empty, and I thought that was very almost satanic in a way, where these people were doing everything, but they also had nothing at the same time. They had no family around them. They had no friends with good interest. they just were there quite literally for the money and for the followers. I remember leaving LA and I was just like, I'd never want to feel like that or experience anything like that again. Like, that's not.
There's a lot of discourse in the influencer community right now, and I feel like I've been summoned as somebody who was in that industry for a very long time and still is, just in a different way. So if you're not familiar, there's a lot going on with a certain creator. I don't need to add fuel to the fire here. However, this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, even 10 years ago. The main topic of discussion here is that the main OG influencers from YouTube that kind of went on to social media, and some of the new ones today, are not relatable. I hate to break it to you, they haven't been relatable for a long time. And that's because of you, the viewer. I feel like this trend of overconsumption really started in the year of 2015, going into 2016, which is when I entered the space. I went to college, I moved to LA. I was working corporate at a production company. I had 3 jobs at the time. I met my ex. I was a baby. I was like 20 years old, a year after dating. We went public and I was in every YouTube vlog. Such a dynamic duo and a part of his life for nearly 6.5 years. I was never an influencer. I had a little bit of a following here and there, Instagram, Vine. I always had a corporate job, right? So I was thrown into this world. I was 20 years old in LA, living in a room that I was renting for $400 with an air mattress on the floor, didn't have a car, was biking everywhere. I worked at a surf shop. I was making like $11.25 an hour there. Then my production job, I was making like $14 an hour, but I was thrown into this world that I had never experienced before. I met everybody and I was friendly with most people because they were his friends. They'd shoot collabs together, they'd go on trips together. It was just a shock to me to see how these people were living. Multi-million-dollar homes, G-Wagons, Cartier stack bracelets, Louis Vuitton bags, Birkins, and the really big ones had multiples of those things. My family immigrated to America, so I grew up with next to nothing. I moved to LA with $300 in my pocket. So it was never relatable to me. I saw this content being put out. I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. What this person just spent on a bag, my mom as a nurse makes in a year. That's where the trend began. Overconsumption and showing off things that other people couldn't afford. And it was cool at the time because you, the viewer, was young. Now, 10 years later, those trends are no longer cool. Everybody's fighting for their lives out there. People can barely afford food, not to mention the political side of things. It's absolutely wild. These trends are no longer cool or slightly attainable. That's the problem. These are not attainable things. I personally barely watch any creators, and I don't have very many creator friends anymore. I don't want to watch people unboxing a $10,000 bag. I don't want to watch people doing a haul of $14,000 worth of shoes. That's not for me. Even as somebody who is a creator and has a lucrative business online, I do well, I do fine. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily influencing anyone. I'm more of a creative. Over the past couple of years, it's made me feel like I'm not a part of this community in Los Angeles. So I've slowly over the past year or two stepped away from a lot of these groups because I just don't feel like that's my family anymore. I don't feel connected. I don't feel supported. I really do love this discussion because it's something that hits home for me, not feeling like I can afford or attain what is around me. So I think what I'm trying to say is there's community for everybody. I think your algorithm can truly be shifted now in the way that you want to see content and support creators. Those creators from the past, they're probably not going to change. I would compare it to addiction. You give them a taste and they keep tasting it and tasting it and tasting it, they're going to become addicted. And by the end of it, it's going to take a lot to get them out of that hole that they're in. And I think that's the same as this situation. The issue of relatability is that they're no longer relatable because this is all that they know. And how are they going to go from living in a, 10, 15,000 square foot home to living in, I don't know, a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath cottage. And I'm fully content with it. I don't need much. I didn't have a lot growing up. My mom, however, taught me the importance of travel, culture, reading, and that's where I choose to spend my money, on experiences. Would I love all of these things? Would I love all that money? Absolutely sure. But guess what? I am rich in the fact that I have seen the world 3 times over. Did I do it in the most luxurious ways? Not really. But honey, I have lived, I have loved, I have met amazing people all over the world. And I think that's more than a lot of people can say. The mentality that I've come across that I've really stepped away from is more is more. I need what other people have. I want this car. I want that ring. I want this watch. I want to date this person. I want to go to this event. I want to stay at this hotel. It is all bullshit. A lot of people just don't really know who they are because they're trapped in this bubble. I hope that we can all be a little kinder to each other. Hopefully the one takeaway that we get from this is to stop comparing ourselves to others and stop thinking that what is online is something that I actually want. Because truly it's not. We're all trying to make and support ourselves and feed our families and and be happy and be healthy, and that's what matters. They say that comparison is the thief of all joy, and I truly believe that. Something I'm going to continue working on for the next year is to stop comparing myself to other people. There are so many amazing creators out there that deserve all the acclaim and the support. Hopefully the trend moving forward is to focus on those creators and uplift them. Sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And a message to all the OG creators that maybe feel affected: give yourself a little grace, try to see yourself from the other side, and take the criticism that your fans are giving you in the comments. Play around and try to go back to the content that you did before you were paid, because I feel like that's going to be something that is going to really connect with your audience. I think people still want to learn on TikTok and social media. I think they still really want to connect with people. And maybe we slow down on linking every single product on Amazon. Maybe we slow down with the Cartier hauls and the purse hauls and the shoe hauls. But Diva, it's a little much, okay?
I've been thinking lately about influencer culture. First, I don't consider myself to be an influencer. Let me just say that. I am a creator. And I say that because I was creating before there was a way to influence. I did this before monetization was even an option. I've been at it since 2011. So this catch-all term of influencer, I take some issue with, because I think it kind of dwindles what we do down to what should be, in my opinion, the smallest part of what we have to offer. I view my platforms as a ministry and as a way to build community. I often say I'm an organizer. Fashion is the modality. Liberation is the goal, right? And to use whatever medium it takes for us to have larger conversations, whether it's white toenail season, rants on bodily autonomy, etc. Off my soapbox. I think, though, the issues that people are having with influencer culture, by saying that I'm tired of these, y'all want to be everything so perfect, ain't nobody life really like that, and there being this trend towards a blowback and being hypercritical, I don't know that people know what they're actually asking for. And let me tell you why. There have been many times in my life, but 3 that I can think of in recent memory, where I have been really transparent about what I was going through. One was a breakup that I went through. One was me having an anxiety attack, because I have an anxiety disorder that I've been transparent about. And 3 was recently on my podcast with my best friend Margot, where we talked about our attachment styles, and I shared that mine was avoidant. And the interesting part about all 3 of those occasions, and they stand out to me specifically, is people begin to project so much on my circumstances, down to why my breakup happened. Somebody said, I'm not surprised you broke up because you was always leaving her by herself. Somebody said, it was actually the topic of like a manosphere type podcast, where they sat down and actually dissected a 30-second reel from that episode and said my problem was I didn't know how to leave being a boss outside, and that I needed to step into my feminine when I came into the house, because they assumed that I was straight. So the whole thing was a gag. And then on the topic of my anxiety attack, I remember sharing that it had happened after New York Fashion Week, and I've been under so much stress, etc. And I've been in bed, and someone said to me, well, you're probably also depressed, you don't just have anxiety. And I was just like, well, first, it doesn't help for you to attempt to diagnose me. But also, I have many healthcare professionals around me, and bitch, you don't fucking know me, most importantly. I'm not depressed. And then on the attachment style, people have been opining about, how's your marriage gonna thrive? Because being avoidant in your marriage, and then the thing, and yeah, I knew that about you, yeah, and I knew other things about you as well. Who wants to share and be transparent as a creator with my size or a platform? You don't want your mama to criticize you. You cut off your best friend because she had an opinion on your baby daddy. And you want us to be open about our struggles and our lives with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. That's what you want. Yet and still, we are not evolved enough as a species to understand the dynamics of a parasocial relationship. When I'm sharing my struggles, it's because I understand this is my ministry. I'm trying to normalize mental health conversations in our community. A response might be to A, keep scrolling, B, leave a positive comment, or C, just log the fuck off and reflect. But to make an opinion about my mental health, to dogpile in a moment where I'm being vulnerable should never occur. And because it does, people are not going to share. And what it makes me wonder, honestly, is does the criticism come not because the creator desires perfection, but because the consumer requires perfection? And when, by golly gee willy, you find out that my life is just like yours, it is too much for you to handle.
This is probably going to trigger a lot of people, but I'm going to say anyway. Influencer culture is low-key becoming the downfall of the beauty industry. A lot of people in the beauty industry don't actually want to grow their business. They want to be influencers. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being an influencer, but the kind of content that grows an influencer page is not the same content that's going to grow your books. Influencers make content to entertain people. Beauty professionals need to be making content that makes people trust you enough to book with you. Now listen, lifestyle content is great. I love lifestyle content. I teach my students that you should show parts of your life, but it still has to make sense for your business. And this is the part that gets even crazier. Some of y'all are putting in so much work on your content, but you're not putting in nearly as much work on actually perfecting your craft. You're unprofessional, you're late, your space isn't prepared, you're rushing, and your prices do not match the quality of the work that you offer. So even if your content got clients through the door, they're definitely not coming back, and they're telling other people to not come to you too. And that is why so many beauty pros stay stuck. You're waiting on the algorithm to pick you up as an influencer. Meanwhile, you're completely ignoring the content that would actually get you more clients. At the end of the day, clients don't book with you because you drive a Benz, you can edit a video. They book with you because they believe you're the best option for them. So if you want to be fully booked, shift your content from just entertaining to educating, showcasing, and building trust. Trust is what is going to fill your books, not.
Nick Shirley is only 23 years old, and he's helped expose massive corruption, challenge powerful system. And here in this video that I'm going to share with you, he casually describes something most people never see. This sounds just like another Hollywood party story, but if you listen closely, it exposes something so demonic happening to our young people that have talent. So hit that like button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible, and let's see what Nick has to say.
So like, for instance, like in LA, like I would go to these parties, and at these parties, there would be one guy, about 50 years old, 6 girls sitting around him.
Is his name Diddy?
Maybe, no, I wasn't Diddy, but you'd see like these things.
Been 6 dudes, I guess, but anyway.
Yeah. So like you see these things and you're like, what the freak is going on? And like none of that's by God. It's all by the devil. And you see, I remember going to this one party, we were there. This one guy, he's like the king of all these like influencers pretty much. Like all these influencers at a house, he helps them do certain things. And
is this who I think it is? All fair. Go ahead, keep.
Real quick, he's not allowed to say who that was. And we're going to talk about this in a second, but it's probably because there was an NDA or non-disclosure agreement involved. And by the way, I don't know who this king of influencers is, this 50-year-old man that's hanging out with kids. If you do, let me know in the comment section. I would love to find out. Let's continue.
So I'm at this house. There's all these people like that I love watching on YouTube, and they're there as well. And on the ground, there's just like whippets. I didn't even know those were a thing. There's just whippets everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Cocaine on the ping pong table. But this guy and like drugs, alcohol everywhere. Everyone's drunk. And like me, I just like felt like this place is like horrible. And then all these fake relationships. These girls are only around this 50-year-old man because he has the house in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And all these guys with millions of followers are only there because he's able to maybe give them a brand deal, or able to facilitate them to get more followers, to help them start X, Y, and Z. And so, like, none of that's by God. And it's just all manipulation, like tactics of God. Or tactics of the devil, my bad.
I think, and depending on how you look at it from a religious standpoint or just like moral or immoral, I think you have a point for sure. And I haven't spent time out in LA, but know a lot of people who have. Certainly there's some good stuff out there, but you see a lot of people who are worshiping things that are not God. And by that, I mean, you know, money, fame, and with it, power.
Mhm.
And these are the types of things that do get normalized. And yeah, I think I would have, like, I enjoy a good party, right? But do I think I would have fun living for 3 years in some fake content creating den with everyone sitting there doing drugs and getting STDs? Probably not.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, these kids aren't, like, the kids that were doing it aren't even happy. And
Yeah, so what he's describing is so prevalent. I mean, it matters because Nick is describing not just partying, it's literally a pattern. I'm sure you've heard of this before about how for decades we've seen this.
I'm burnout, but I don't want to give up. And I'm kind of at the point in content creation now where it's like you're at the home stretch. But once you have to keep up with like 3 different platforms, it really starts to become like stressful and overwhelming. Number one, I am not TikTok paid. I am not content creator paid. Like, I do this because it's something I love to do and it's something that's fun. But I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of micro influencers, smaller influencers, we still have full-time jobs. So like, I am working 8 hours a day and then I'm doing my content setup and I'm trying to film a video for a brand or, you know, just film something that's fun or something that's new. And in the midst of doing that, something doesn't work, something messes up, you run out of storage, and then you have to go back in and try and fix everything all over again. I'm just at the point where I'm like, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. And I feel like God is just like, just keep going. It's okay. Like, I'm gonna bless it. Just don't give up.
ستوري بعنوان The Dark Side of Being an Influencer إيش هحكي لكم يا جماعة قصة a hair brand that reached out ليا وكانوا عايزيني أبقى part of a campaign لcollection حاجة يعني لتطويل شعر. It's like a whole collection بتاعة تطويل شعر. الشعر يا جماعة بيطول في قد إيه؟ ما أظنش إن الشعر بيطول في أسبوع على حد معلوماتي. فحد شغال هناك يعني reached out وقالوا لي we want you to be a part of your campaign, please give us your rate card. فقلت لها كذا. she agreed وقالت لي تمام. والpayment هتبقى بعد الفيديو مش عارفة ايه لو انتي تمام وكده. قلت لها اوكي بس انا I still have to try out the products. قالت لي تمام. بعدين في نفس الاسبوع بدأ يبقى فيه updates اللي هو ايه الاخبار هنصور امتى. فهو obviously مش هصور في نفس الاسبوع ولا الاسبوع اللي بعده ولا الاسبوع اللي بعده. يعني انتي لو عايزاني ابقى part of a campaign في حاجه بتطول الشعر انا مش المفروض ان انا اخد البرودكتس وفي نفس الاسبوع اقول للناس اطلع اعمل فيديو واقول هاي يا جماعه البرودكتس دي طولت لي شعري جدا. ف obviously that was a no for me. وبعدين دي حاجه تقلق، دي بجد حاجه مخيفه جدا ان ده معناه ان الناس اللي عامله الكامبين دي خدوا البرودكتس في يوم probably صوروا في span of 1 or 2 weeks maximum. That's not normal and it feels very unethical. ودي حاجة غريبة قلقتني، يعني بجد قلقتني. عشان كده بجد اما بلاقي كامبين فظيعة على one product او براند فجأة بجد بشكك فيها، اللي هو لا this is paid and it's not genuine. اكيد ما بعممش، probably في influencers كتير بيتستوا out البرودكتس، بس حسيت اللي هو اوكي that's not okay خالص، that's no. بس يا جماعة قلت احكي لكم قصة سريعة.
This is why Black creators and creators of color in general make so much less than their counterparts. My name's Joy. I'm an influencer marketer, but I've been working on the brand side of the business for like the past decade. If you don't know what that means, essentially I hand select the influencers that you see on a lot of these really fun campaigns, or I'm overseeing that process. And the biggest reason you see such disparity in the creator economy is simply because there's not enough representation on this side of the business. And the consequences of that is that we see creators of color getting access to way significantly less opportunities than their counterparts. Simply put, they're likely not looked out for or discovered if there's not a marketer of color on the brand side, or if the marketing team doesn't prioritize diversity and inclusivity. And as you know, in the current state of America, that's no longer a requirement. If I can put it in practical terms, as you're scrolling on your For You page, 99% of the time, you're probably going to see creators who look just like you. And that's the same for brand marketers. Their Explore pages, their For You pages, it looks just like them. And so naturally, those are the creators that they know. Those are the creators that they're influenced by. Thus, in their minds, those are the creators who have influence. I love that brands are wanting to be more forward, and so they're hosting more dedicated events. They're doing specific campaigns at specific times of the year. But I don't believe that the disparity will actually be resolved or rectified until we have a significant increase of representation on this side of the business. If you are a Black or creator of color, I just want to encourage you to just keep on going. You will be seen. We're working on this side of the business. If you're a rising creator, I want to encourage you that the industry is not oversaturated. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
This is, yet again, I didn't even really want to talk about this, but the messages won't stop coming, so I'll just say this. There's something that I think we all learn over time as we get older, and it's because we've seen it since we were children. You know, back in the old days, we saw it on TV a lot, and then it transitioned into social media. Back then, it was, you know, TV shows, infomercials, documentaries. Now it's more social media content, but it's these people that create content that's inspirational and life-affirming and always positive. I've never paid attention to any of it. No. And that's because it's performative bullshit. Yeah. And these people almost always fall from grace. And that is because, for whatever reason, I think people believe that these people live their whole day-to-day lives like in this mode, like that they see on social media. That's not even possible. These people are flawed just like everyone else. Some of them are decent people. Some of them are pretty bad people. They're nothing special. It's a performance that they happen to be good at. And they almost always fall. And sometimes it's really, really big things that cause these people to fall. And sometimes it's little things. But that's because people put these people up on pedestals. I have no idea why. So what always happens is something bad happens. These people fall from grace. And then people turn to other people like me, because I have somewhat of a platform, and expect us to speak about it. And look, I get it. These people, they make a lot of inspirational, like I said, content, life-affirming, and a lot of people really commit to that and actually seek that stuff out. Personally, I don't. To me, that's something you get at home from your family or your friends. It's not something you get from a stranger online. Not that you shouldn't. It's just, for me, I don't. And it's because I know it's a performance. I know it's not genuine. It never has been, and it never will be. It's literally a business strategy. It's a content strategy is all it is. And yeah, it makes you feel good, and sometimes it makes you think, and sometimes you learn something, and that's great, but it's not real. Never has been. And it's not real because they're doing it for money. I guess I can say I never have to be worried about being disappointed in influencers or celebrities or movie stars or anyone like that, because I never hold them in high enough regard to disappoint me. Look, I get it. That may sound cold and callous or whatever, but when you've lived as long as I have, and you spent a lot of your life being disappointed by people, you get to a point where you're like, I'm not doing that anymore. Not giving anyone enough rope to disappoint me again. Thanks.
Yo, let me de-influence you from becoming an influencer. Because I went to my TikTok a couple of days ago, yeah? I go and look at my payouts, and I go and see that since December, I've not been paid. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here? I go and check, it says your account has been disqualified from monetization. So I was just like, yo, imagine my entire business model, my entire content creation stuff relied on the fund I get from TikTok. So this is how I structure the way I make money, so that it makes sense to me, it gives me peace of mind, and then I've got longevity in the game. So there's gonna be 4 different layers, yeah? The bottom of the pile, I've got like affiliate links, so any money that I make through affiliates, classes as a bonus. So if I don't get anything, okay, I don't get anything. The next level up is where my ads money comes, so TikTok fund, YouTube fund, Meta fund. These are the 3 platforms that pay me. Again, I see this as a bonus. Sometimes it can be a very good amount, but still, I see it as a bonus. Why? Because ultimately, I'm not in control of it. The next layer up is brand deals. Now, you can make a lot of money with brand deals, don't get me wrong. But also, it's inconsistent. It goes up and down. So if I do get brand deals, again, it's a bonus. The bottom 3 levels for me are all bonuses. Now, I'm saying this because if I get 0 from second level, third level, fourth level, zero, I'll still be able to operate my business, still continue being a content creator because of my first level, and that is selling my own flipping products. If you have your own products that you are super proud about and you know that's going to make an impact on people's lives, change their lives, you can market the crap out of that. That's what I do with What in the Chef, my curriculum product. I'm so proud of it. I know how much impact it's having on people's lives and how much it is changing people's lives. That is what I rely on. Everything else is a bonus. Don't get me wrong, on the days that I get brand deals that come in as well, damn, it's good. But what I try and do as someone that wants longevity in the game is focus on building out your own products, because then you can sell your own products, you got control of your own products, and on the side you build an email list and you have control over your email list, which are people that resonate with your stuff. That's a game.
Okay, so how do you know when influencers are lying, right? So I want to move to Nashville, which means my entire For You page is Nashville stuff. It's just like hundreds of influencers or wannabe influencers, like they have like 800 followers or whatever. That's my entire For You page. And there's no way that every new restaurant is that good. It's just not statistically possible. And every single video is the same. It's like, oh my God, guys, come with me to the newest place in Nashville to try the new Pollo Taco. This was the best taco I've ever had. And the drinks, I'm like, there's no statistical way that every new restaurant is good. Like, that's not physically possible. Some of them have to be bad. Also, the fact that, like, I've seen 3 videos that are like, this was the best taco I've ever had. This was the best orange chicken. This is like, no. Like, have you ever been to an actual authentic place? Like, you go to a Mexican restaurant where you can barely understand the waiter and the taco's gonna cost you like $2, but it's the best damn taco you're ever gonna have. That's the best taco. It's probably not gonna be in downtown Nashville. It's probably just not. I'm sure there's some really good upscale steak places, but like when it comes to ethnic food, I just don't buy it. But seriously, how do you filter through, like, they're like, this is the newest, best club in Nashville. And I'm like, I fucking doubt it. I fucking doubt it. Because I saw 5 videos prior to this claiming the exact same thing about a different place than you're currently standing in. And also, they somehow all look super similar. So how do you know, as a person that lives there, which ones are actually worth going to?